Hello everybody. Let's look at the game Larry Evans versus Nicholas Rossolimo from US Championships 1965. So we got e4, Evans is white, and Rossolimo is black, playing c5. And we don't get knight c6, which would be the Rossolimo variation. Can't play Rossolimo versus the Rossolimo. He plays d6. And now this is something completely different. So we go into an open Sicilian, bang, 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 knight f6, knight c3, and a6. We get Najdorf instead. And maybe not the most fearsome variations versus the Najdorf, super solid, just develops the bishop, covers the g4. And black does a little commitment here, e5. We kick active knight away. It could go here, it comes there. Downside, of course, for black is that now they have a backwards pawn hole in the d5. And black plays bishop e7, simple. White develops bishop e3. I mean, there's always this kind of stuff on the b6, but it's developing move. We usually want to put the queen behind the bishop, so it should come out first. Then both sides castle, and bishop e6. Comes cover more the d5 hole here, but also doesn't want to, or the knight doesn't want to go first and block the bishop. We probably know where the bishop wants to go, but well, I guess knight could go there or there. And white instantly jumps to d5. I think nowadays queen d2s, d3s are more common, but this gets some play. And black could take there. Go for this kind of setup here. Block the d file. Backwards pawn is no longer on an open C or open file. It's still backwards though, but not so easy to access. Instead, black develops the knight, and white commits to taking that bishop, which was definitely not the most active thing in the world here. But it did one thing, and it was defending the pawn here. Well, black has to take that back, of course. But now we have one less guy covering the d5 though. So white's idea is to go after d pawn. Bing bang bong. But first this is hanging, and maybe we also have to stop d5, so white plays bishop f3. Bang. Covers these x-rays here. Can't go d5 yet. And black gets ready to meet any doubles the d file. Brings the rook out there. Also vacates the f8, so knight is gonna go running there. White's doubling up here. Rook to the open c file, or half open. Easy chess. White hits the pawn. Black defends the pawn. And then we get bishop g5. So maybe this is threatened now. White comes up with nothing better to stop that than trade one of the pieces covering it. But this bishop looks like a good piece though. So it's a real shame to give it up. Could have gone here, I suppose, rook here, and it's fine. It's covered, so there is no funny business here. We cannot take, of course. And then maybe d5. I don't know if, well, it would be very hard to get c4 in. Almost impossible. Instead we get bishop g5. I don't know, maybe we should have allowed d5 and kept the bishop there somehow. Done something else, but it's done. Black challenges the bishop instantly. White takes, black takes. And then white plays rook a c1. Here I was thinking maybe queen e2 could have been played. anticipating black's next move, knight here, so we could play g3 and kind of cover this guy. And this is doing a lot of work here. I think we can even do this and this and this, and we still are covering everything. Instead, white played here, cover c2. Still not coming with c4. Black comes here, coming here, coming here. White covers the bishop. Now maybe ready to play g3. And black's in time to go harass the bishop. Well, white plays here, comes defend the bishop, but it does also block the rook. But black's definitely wanna take there, and well, still the queen. I mean, if you take twice, then you get the d5 in. Get rid of your problems, and hopefully the bishop will be better than the knight in the endgame. White comes here. Well, this is probably very poisoned. b3, or bishop is trapped. It's probably very hard to actually target here, but you still don't probably want to get your bishop trapped there. Like if you go here, rook here, and maybe you're surviving. I don't know. Do you want to try that for an stinky a pawn? Instead, black had other ideas. They finally got their d5 in now that we blocked the d file. White took, black took. White takes, black takes. So the rooks look nice. The knight is active here. Okay, it's on the flank, but it will have some ideas, and it could come here and here. So knight e4. This looks like a nice square for the knight. Hits the queen. Queen moves. Hits the pawn. Checkmate threatened. Here white defended it with the queen h3. Could have played the g3, but then the knight probably just moves here and there. I don't know, chop chop, put the knight there. This is coming here, and maybe it's also coming here, and there's a lot of holes. All kind of problems are upon problems. Seems really good for black. The knight is really good. Alright, so instead we get queen h3, covering the mate this way, hitting the rook, so the knight is not hanging. But black has bang. So the point is that bang bang, back rank, or bang bang. So either way you take. One of these guys can take and say checkmate. So rooks are untouchable. How about the knight though? Well, white took it. Still can't take here. Or, well, doesn't help. This is attacked only once, defended once. Black did rook d4 though. Coming to pin the knight. Already won a pawn. Still cannot take the rook, of course. Either one because of the same thing. Takes, takes, or takes, takes. Mate, mate. And how about f3? Then bang. You open the second rank here. That ain't really good either. Alright, so white could have played g3 here and gone into some kind of a end game here. For instance, queen trade. Could have also probably taken with the rook. I don't know, rook check, come here. Black's up a pawn. This is active. Also, this is not too bad. I don't know why we go here. If here, white, then this comes here. Black's better, but white rook is active here, which is big. Instead of, we get the crazy queen d8 and get nice material imbalance in the position. So check. Black took, white took, check. And then took c2, and black takes here. We get two rooks versus a queen, which is fun. Of course, the downside for white is that black has an extra pawn. And here, well, I feel like white's chances would be a lot better if they could somehow like double the rooks this way without actually getting checkmated on the process. But I feel like if you could have like defense and the other one actively destroying stuff here or threatening to destroy stuff here, it would be a better setup. But in the game, because of the bad back rank rook hanging here, you have to put the rooks in a kind of a less active formation, just on the back rank like this. Or sorry, it's not giving up the pawns. Maybe you actually could have like trying to like get black to take and then try to get some active play. This would actually would have been a decent way to play too, if black took. Instead, white plays rook b1, okay, passive. And then black starts to push their pawn majority on this side. Queen, pawn rushes towards the king. So queen is good against the open king. And now it would be lovely if you could like keep harassing stuff here, but you have some problems that you have a lot of weakness around here if your rook gets sidetracked here. So rooks want to get big connected always. But of course here they are connected on the back rank, which is not good for the defender. So black pushes the pawns, and then white starts to harass the queen, which is of course good. And white should definitely be happy with the draw here, I think. Being a pawn down and all. Defends the pawn. And black is just painful here. He puts the queen into a2. But it's like keeping both of these and maybe this guy like grounded because you cannot hang the rook, and you cannot move this guy without dropping the pawn. Of course the queen is funny here, but I found this move kind of cute. Can't say it's the best move, but annoying at least, and always be annoying. So white makes a luft here, but also weaknesses. And this guy comes running in. It's very hard to say what's the correct plan for black, but I assume it's somehow like we try to bring the king somewhere, push the pawns in a way that we don't hopefully drop anything with checks at least. So white comes king g3, black comes here, white comes back, black comes back, white comes back, and then black doesn't want to repeat, of course, he's up a pawn. So I don't know, was that to get a little closer to 40 moves? I have no idea of the time control of this game, but did you get extra time at 40th move? We're at move 36. Could have been time trouble. Repeats for sure. But okay, this seems wrong though. White starts to rip things in front of their king. f3. And black just comes here, defends their pawn. White takes, black takes. Okay, so this is annoying now. Would love to double the rooks here and bang here or something. The downside of all of these, and you see it in the game, is gonna be that even if you manage to do it, take here, black king, like let's say, instead of this, and black promises that he doesn't take the free hanging rook, or does something like this. Is that in these lines the king is gonna be always so much more active than white's king. So the taking the pawn is not even a threat. This is just winning pawn endgame for black because his king is just too much. It's way more active. So, well, maybe, but I mean, of course, this here back white could probably hold since they got their rooks this way stacked up. But their taking is not gonna work out, but they could like just bide their time and Black always has to at least keep a look-see here, and this guy now is defending this way, and there's no pawn majority anywhere to make a passed pawn here. But of course that's all theoretical. Black's not letting white double here and here. Well, now he could, but of course, bang, fork. So we can't. White hides here. Maybe we are tending to go here now. And black says no. You could go here though, but then you drop this guy. So black's saying no. And now he comes here. Let me check here. Maybe the pawn is gonna push. So white keeps harassing the queen. And then they put the queen far away. King comes back. Black pushes the pawns here. Keeping eye on b2 all the time too. So white couldn't really like play here because he drops these, push the pawn, attack the pawn, defend the pawn. a4 throws away pawn here, but what happens if you take it? Bang. Skewer. So that's really poisoned. So black obviously doesn't take it. Defends their pawn. King sidestep. This guy is still pinned. This guy keeps hanging all the time. So we get some pawn trades. Rook comes in, attacks the pawns from behind. And again, black's being tricky and saying, no, 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 you could block, but then, oh, that would be a check though, but this would be also a horrible blunder. But maybe this is unavoidable anyways. Can't move the king, can't move the, well, I guess you could move the pawn though. Block here. I assume you're gonna die soon anyways. It's not the full rook though. Anyways, we didn't get the takes, which doesn't work. Rook stays far away. Black harasses it anyways, then we get check. King comes here. Now, threatens the pawn. King comes to d2, attacks the rook. And now we get to transition into the pawn endgame. White could maybe hold here with this, but then e2 and it's just miserable. Can maybe push the pawn forward. This is here, you're threatening to do it. Probably if this guy ever moves, we can promote and win anyways. I don't know, h5, b4. If you move this, then assume this is winning. Again, just because the king is so far more advanced, and just go eat that, right? Oh, it's probably not so clear, is it? h5, here, 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 not into a check, not into a check. These are gonna promote at the same time, and this is not gonna be, well, this is probably still a draw. Is this still a draw? Oh, that is close though. So but here it gets to the same thing as in the game. Black has to first play move like b3, because here we don't go. Oh, sorry. That would be a blunder again. But takes. Then we go after this one first. And this side is too far advanced, and black's gonna be faster there. So obviously if you take. And then this guy is faster here. And if white tries to push, we come behind it. No good, same thing. And if this, we just play h5. You go here. How do we win this? Again, we can force it. If push, we're still just in time to be faster here and win. And now white's gonna run out of moves and they have to either chop chop or chop chop. Well, chop chop. Chop chop. Anyways, we get the same thing, but a little different way. White took, black took, white took, black took. Then king comes here. Okay, in a game, black played king e4, squeezing the white king. Could have just pushed the pawn too. If white plays h5, we do the same as we saw. We don't push, because then white is always good enough. This is now probably the fastest pawn for black too. Theoretically draw, but maybe a lot of work for white, since it's a check. But yeah, we should be after b4, h5, black should again take and go harass this guy. And again, takes, and black king is faster on this side. And this is again not gonna work out. Bang, bang. Again, if you go here, we chop, and or faster here. Or if you go here, we keep squeezing you, and then again, black's faster here and win. Well, in a game he squeezed white king. White could use this to get a tempo, and now black has to be careful here. Only move. Now this doesn't work because now we play g5 instead. So if white tries to go back, we have to squeeze him here, there, g4, king f4, win these guys. So then now it's this race is too slow after b4 for black. Yeah, makes sense. Either way you go. King here, squeeze. If you push, you get squeezed anyways. You lose all the pawns. Alright, so in a game we got king e5, king f4, king d5, king comes closer, and now black's fast enough. g4 takes, push. Now we get this really funny endgame though. So it's fast enough, but still very, very close. White king goes f6, black starts to push, take, push, goes there, there, and there. And this would be obviously easy win against the knight pawn. But here this freaking pawn is on the way. So the problem is that if you do your normal stuff here, put the white here, you would love to, without these guys. If these guys were the only things on the board, you check here, force the white king in front of the pawn, and then you could advance. But here, your own pawn is on the way. So you have to be a little more creative with the win. So the first move is actually king d6, letting white promote. And then we transition again into a winning pawn endgame. But this time, the white king is on the wrong side of the world. Just gonna run this through, and of course, yeah, white attacks this with take, and then we come here, and again it's on the wrong side of the world. But yeah, that's a very hard endgame. I thought I understood all of it, but I didn't understand all of it anyways. Well, of course, I still don't understand all of it, but at least I also learned more. Anyways, a very interesting game. Interesting material in balance with the queen versus the rooks, and transition into the pawn endgame, which was definitely not easy either. Anyways, thanks for watching and ciao.